Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What's up, everybody?
What's happening?
Well, we had some stuff going on this weekend in bodybuilding. There was the Masters Olympia and the Texas Pro. Apparently, I was unaware of what was going on at the Masters Olympia. Amy informed us that Dorian Haywood won, which is amazing. Yep. I didn't even know Dorian was old enough to be a Masters.
Time. It catches up to us all.
Yeah.
He looked great.
Yeah, he looks great.
You only got to be what, 40 plus or 45 plus?
It's 40 for the Masters Olympia. There are no age classes other than just over 40 at the Masters Olympia currently. That may change in the future. I wish they would do a 50 and a 60 group at the Masters Olympia, but you know, it is what it is. The 60-year-old guys can't really hang with the 40-year-olds.
The 40-year-old, no.
No. I don't know if the 50-year-olds can although Phil LaCar, I mean, he's out there. I mean, shit, he's my age. There's some dudes, Kamal is my age or older. I mean, I don't know that he competed this year though.
I don't think so.
No, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely dudes out there that that could hang. The Texas was pretty great. I mean, it was essentially the same guys battling out. Just swapped a couple places from the Tampa.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool to see Joey get second there and edge out Quentin. That was nice.
Yeah, Joey looked improved. Quentin did not. I don't know of a better way to put it, and then the rest is the rest. I mean, John looked improved, I thought. I think you could have made a case for John being in third, but it's the guys that ahead of him were just they're just crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just a shape thing more so than because John, like, he's peeled, like he looks great. I think he just has, I feel like he's just got a different kind of shape to him, than the other guys,
Yeah, and I would say, and I love John. I mean this with all the respect, but I think John has taken his genetics as far as they'll go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know what else he can do,
Why didn't he say he was retiring, right? I think that's what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, next year.
I mean, maybe that's where he's at. He's like, I don't know what else I can fucking do,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think one problem John kind of comes across is some of his poses are dead on and lights out. He does that 2 hands on the hip, most muscular, and it's just out of this world. But then you look at something like his front lat spread's never really ideal, compared to when you're standing next to Quentin, and the shape is just kind of dominating. It's really hard to say that John's perfect in every shot. I think he's got some weak shots that kind of hold him back. But his conditioning's dead on every time, other than I think Tampa, we saw his abs a little washed out.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's hard to pick at him. It's just a few poses, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, the Tampa, he had, from what I understand, they lost his luggage and he packed all his food in his luggage.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So I think he had some hiccups with Tampa and had to probably a little extra stress and had to change some stuff on the fly. So, yeah, I mean, that happens, but I think, even John at 90% looks better than most dudes.
Yeah.
Being in the top 4 at that show is incredible. I don't know what he's doing next. I don't know if he's going to try to get his Olympia qualification or what the deal is.
How many more shows are there left to qualify? There can't be that many.
I think it's 4 or 5 qualifying shows, something in that, some overseas stuff.
Usually one every week. There was the Tupelo as well. I don't know that they had to open at the Tupelo. I think it was just classic men's physique and women's stuff at the Tupelo. I don't think there was open.
What do you think? What do you think got Joey the edge though? And Quentin, was it Quentin taking a step backwards? Did you notice Joey kind of looked a little sharper? I thought he.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to tell without being there, but I thought from the pics, I thought Joey just looked crisper this week, and Quentin looked basically the same as he did last week.
Mm.
That was my opinion. But once again, it's hard to tell from pictures. It's more clear being there when I was there in Tampa last week when Jordan walked out. I mean, it was just like, yeah, this guy's winning. There was no doubt in my mind, especially when they turned around. Quentin is just still kind of soft from the back, would be my assessment of him. I just don't think he looks, to me, and I don't mean this in any disrespect whatsoever. He's got a fantastic physique, but dude looks like he's about, I don't know. Let me pull these pics up from this weekend. I mean, I think he looked worse than he did last week, if you ask me. He is coaching himself, so I don't know if you can be the most objective about yourself, but he looks pretty washed out here to me.
His legs look pretty good, but
yeah, I mean, look, his midsection. It's when he turns around. Let me see if I can find the pictures of him from the back. Did they not have any pictures of him from the back?
yeah, his midsection, you can definitely see that. Yeah.
Here,
Oh, there we go.
you can see from the back. I mean, his hang on. Oh, God damn it, man! I hate it when they put this shit up in the other window.
Yeah, you can see a little bit on the lower back, just soft over.
Lower back, glutes aren't quite in, hamstrings aren't quite in. It just to me, he could lose a little more fat. And I know last year he basically over dieted. It's always a fine line to walk. A guy like him probably, I mean, he probably has the Samson issue, where Samson, if he over diets, I think flattens out and looks both soft and flat. These big guys are really hard to peak.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't know how the fuck he does it himself.
Yeah. I mean, but for coaching yourself, it's pretty good though. I mean, far improved than last year's showings.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, he looked better. He looked better, but I would say he needs to be a bit crisper.
Mm-hmm.
This just isn't crisp enough to me. I mean, this looks like 4 weeks out.
I was just going to say that exact same thing. He looks like he's about 4 weeks out.
I don't even think he looks as crisp as he did at Tampa.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So clearly somebody was hitting the buffet after the thing. It doesn't even look like he tried to dry out. I don't know. But once again, I'm being hypercritical. Guy's one of the best bodybuilders in the world. But if I were coaching him, I would say we need to push conditioning a little bit more. We need to dry you out a little bit more. That would be my critique if I were offering some critique for him. I mean, Jordan looked fucking great again. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he looked even better than last week.
I feel like the things they say about Clint are the same things they said about Samson before he got it dialed in and started winning the big ones.
Yeah, it is essentially the same thing. I mean, from what I understand, Samson has a really hard time getting himself in condition. That he basically has to starve himself. I don't know how much of that's true. Unless you're in the house, but here was Jordan. I mean, he just looked good. The
amount of depth and detail in his quads is insane.
Yeah, I don't know if he can crack the top 5 at the Olympia. I mean, when you put him up against the other guys that are up there, lower back could be a little tighter.
Well, I have a feeling he'll be in the top 10. He did beat some guys that were top 10 material from last year's Olympia.
Yeah, I could say top 10, maybe top 7. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably where I would put him.
He'll probably right around there. I mean, yeah, he looks great.
I mean, in the Olympia, I mean, your top 5 are probably, if Hottie's competing, it's probably going to be Hottie, Samson, Nick,
Derek.
Derek.
He almost looks like to me if he had his waist a little bit smaller, just was born with a little smaller waist, he'd be very Ian Valier.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I would say he's in that 6 to 10 range at the Olympia, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, depending on his, I would say, if I were coaching him, I would push the conditioning really hard because he's not going to outsize some of those guys.
Gosh, it's going to be a good Olympia.
Yeah, I kind of wish I was going. I just got too much going on, and I'm traveling pretty much every. Yeah, I would agree with Scott. That's a good take. Chase, you going to the Olympia this year?
Yeah, I am. Yep. I plan on being there from Wednesday to Sunday, so yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
I actually got tickets to the Saturday show. I happened to be online when they went on sale.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
that'll be fun.
Nice.
Yep. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like talking about it, but it's like, so Nick Walker is one of my sponsored athletes for my peptide company, and it's gonna be pretty fucking crazy. Like if he wins it, So yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah, Jackie and I were just talking about it last night, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nick not only, everyone just says he can possibly be top 3, but no better. It's like, I don't know about you guys, but I could see him totally winning, especially if somebody's just off 1%. I don't see how he couldn't. I mean, he's 290 right now, extremely lean.
He looks insane.
It'll be the best Nick we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, I talk to him on a daily basis at this point, and he is like confused with what's going on with his body right now. He's just like, I just don't understand. Like, I'm so fucking peeled right now, and everything just looks great, and everything's going great. Yeah, he's just, I don't know, everything's going right for him right now. So, yeah.
Let's hope he can hold that for the next 7 weeks now?
About 8, 7 or 8. Yeah.
8.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, sometimes your body just clicks. I mean, he did have some time off. Probably got healthier.
Well, yeah, no, he took some time off. He kept running Retta. I mean, he's been playing with a lot of peptides lately. But yeah, like he's been talking about, the newest thing he's been doing is Retta this year, and he kept it in his downtime between New York through, now to like, he kind of grew a little bit, but I mean, it's so funny because he stayed lean. He's just kind of like slowly getting bigger, into the Olympia. And yeah, it's just been real interesting. Like, yeah, he said this year he's been playing around with peptides, adding in Retta, MOTS-c, SLU, a little bit. He's tried a little bit of everything at this point. But yeah, it's been pretty interesting. My peptide company. It's I mean, if nobody cares, it's omegamino.net.
Gotta be careful talking about it on YouTube.
Yeah. No, I mean, nobody knows us yet, so YouTube won't.
Somebody wanted a list of the qualified.
That was Todd McSwole. Can you pull up a list of the qualified athletes?
Yes.
Olympia is stacked.
Todd, ask and you shall receive. Let me pull it up.
I was going to say with Nick too, right? Last year when I introduced SLU and MOTS-c right into my rebound after the show, I was able to stay leaner, just remarkably lean after the water rebound after a couple of weeks and just grow better than I ever have and stayed leaner than I have. So I don't know if maybe just his first introduction to it's just working well with him. It's clicking well, mitochondrial spinning pretty good, and that's really coming into play at the same time.
Yeah, it's been cool, watching him and talking to him about it. But yeah, after the New York, he took a break from his cycle and just kept the peptides rolling, and then started his Olympia prep cycle, and yeah, things have just been clicking really well.
Yeah, I've been talking to him here and there. It was wild to think that dude took a break from a cycle as big as he is.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. All right, yeah. So who we have qualified for the Olympia? Samson, Brett Wilkin, Hadi, Derek, Rafael Brando, Martin Fitzwater, Akeem Williams, Brandon Curry, William Bonac, Vitali. I don't know how Brandon qualified. I guess as a past Olympia winner. William Bonac, Vitali. I have no idea who that is. Chinjo Obi.
That's Andrew Jack.
Andrew Jack. Yeah. Nick Walker, Reagan Grimes, Tonio, Sasan, Sass, your host Tabani, Ken Shin, Rubiel Mascaro. That's Quadzilla, and Jordan Hutchinson. Those are the guys we have qualified so far.
Yeah, I hope to see Beirut, but who knows? Who knows? It's a shame. Imagine that being qualified 3 or 4 years in a row and you can't show up.
I forgot Brett Wilkin was qualified. I haven't seen him in, I feel like, forever.
Yeah, he qualified last year right after the O. I think it was one of the first shows.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, he's looking great.
Yeah, it looks like the Masters Olympia. Dorian Haywood won. Phil Klahar got second. Todd Whitting fourth. And Ray Short. Todd's a good bodybuilder. Todd should really be competing in the Open. Pretty sure. Go ahead.
I was just going to comment on the difference in the backdrops between the Masters Olympia and the Texas Pro. I thought they did a great job at the Texas Pro. I loved the big letters, but there was enough contrast that, like, bikini sometimes blends in a lot with the backdrop too with the suits, but they really popped, and I thought the men looked great. And then you contrast that with how awful the backdrop was at the Masters. Oh, I mean, it was tragically bad. I mean, you could hardly tell, on the video, you could barely see anything because they just blended in. Like Dorian, at one point when he was in the middle, it blended in with the backdrop completely because his tan was a little more red than the other guys.
Yeah, this is it. It's pretty terrible.
Yeah,
and it moved, it was moving too when it was on video.
I was going to say, not only that, it's a moving background.
Oh God, yeah, that is terrible.
It was so bad.
Probably the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And here we were thinking they were listening to us about the black backdrop when everyone was
not Masters Olympia. They don't.
Nope.
They're like,
I mean, look at that. So
that's abysmal.
Yeah, that's real bad.
Yeah. Well, the shame is all they got to do is hit a button, turn it off while the people are on stage, and then turn it back on after.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's just ridiculous though, because it's like we know what show it is. You don't need to put it right behind them. And then the other thing is with the whole sponsorship, listing of all the companies that are sponsoring it. Who in the fuck has ever bought something because they saw that on the backdrop? Nobody gives a shit about
Never
that.
once thought about it.
Yeah, but the sponsors, the sponsors are the only people that want to see their names up there for whatever. It's just dumb. I don't understand it at all. There's no reason to come up there.
We were at the Olympia last year, Chase. Can you name one sponsor that was on the backdrop?
No, I have no idea. Yeah,
no, I can't remember a damn thing.
No, yeah, it doesn't sell. It doesn't sell more supplements or whatever. Nobody gives a shit. It's just,
I definitely remember the animal cage at the expo.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great marketing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Crazy.
No, it's funny too when they hand out the awards. It's cool. They got the fake fireworks going in the background. That part's cool, and I enjoy it. It looked almost like a video game when you won the championship or something. Yeah. But it just you could just simply hit a button and turn it a little bit more simple, and we could just all be happy. We could all win. They're not on stage forever. I mean, it's not like a half hour of constant people walking, you know.
Yeah.
You know who did a good job was Texas Pro. They had a great balance. I thought they had a black backdrop with the stars going through, and it was just the lighting was great. I mean, I think you can find a real good equilibrium there or whatever, a little give and take.
Yeah.
Well, and even at Tampa, I mean, the backdrop was a little bit busier, but the lighting was so good that it didn't matter because, and Paul explained why that lighting worked, because it really emphasized the athlete and not the backdrop.
Well, Gilco did the lighting.
Yeah, that shows. It looked incredible. I mean, it's got to be so tough as an athlete to, especially like going to that Masters Olympia and then to have those be your stage shots. Just like, it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially after you spend $15,000 to get over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Joel?
Well, it's kind of like the Arnold. The Arnold has kind of a busy background, but with the way they have the lighting and the space between the athlete and the background, like they're able to showcase the athlete and it's not too distracting. I thought they do a pretty good job.
Well, I can't remember. I think they got won the Masters at the Tampa. He was like, I don't know that I'm going to Japan. I'm like, I mean, it's expensive, man. I don't know. I would almost have to go if I qualified, but
yeah.
But
it
still,
was
man,
pouring rain yesterday.
I'd have to think twice about it because it is expensive.
Well, what an experience, though. I mean,
yeah.
First of all, Japan would be a cool place to travel to, and then on top of that, compete for a championship in your sport. It'd be pretty neat.
Go over there and get my 16th place. You have to qualify first.
There's a great car scene in Tokyo.
Yes, there is. They made a movie. They made movies about it. Tokyo Drift.
No, I mean a real car scene, not one with 12-speed manual transmissions and nitrous bottles.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Japan at some point. I think I'd want to go over there though without all the pressure of competing.
Yeah.
I'm more motivated to go after hearing Joel talk about sushi.
Yeah, I know. Our friend Vinny, he competed in the 212, but he hurt his knee before he went out. He had some sort of injury. It fell, I think. I heard. Popped his knee.
Oh.
So like one of those weird last minute things. I have to talk to him, but I think he's going to do the Masters Worlds. But yeah, I heard he had a rough time over there. I haven't talked to him though. So my heart goes out to you, Vinny. That's tough. I heard about that, but just hang in there if you're listening. Enjoy the trip to Japan. Have some fun. Eat some sushi.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Hey, I got a question. It was mean to ask you on the last topic though about Tampa. Tampa going into Texas as a coach, Paul. You got 1 week between shows and you need to make improvements. Something like Quentin. Do you do a whole lot at all to try to, say they wanted him to tighten up? I mean, it's hard to make adjustments in a week. You know what I mean? So it's almost like my opinion is kind of let your body get back to baseline, let your body just kind of burn off a little bit extra it wants to and just freshen back up for the next show.
But, yeah, I mean, especially with all the fucking travel and stuff in there, it's like, what can you really do, man? I've had some people do back-to-back shows recently. I mean, you essentially got to start peaking 3 days out from the show. I mean, that's the longest you can push it. So, I mean, like really the only thing you can manipulate probably between shows that close apart, you're not really going to burn that much fat, if any at all, is water. You can manipulate water and fullness. I mean, we think about the 3 variables to get ready for a show. There's getting fat free. There's getting, filling back out. And then there's water retention. Those are really it, other than presentation and your tan. I mean, that's really all there is to manipulate. People overthink it, but like, he's not fat free right now. There's not a whole lot you can do about that in 1 week.
Very true.
I mean, what he needs right now is another 4 weeks. That's what he needs. He needs to push his conditioning a little bit more. I probably would have told him. I mean, I guess he could have had a shot, if Jordan decided, well, I didn't want to do this show. It could have been his crack at qualifying for the Olympia. I'm sure that was probably the calculus of doing this one. But if I had known that Jordan was doing it and taking it seriously, I probably would have told him to pick a later show. Take another 3 weeks. We really push the conditioning hard, get some fat off, get another probably, on a guy like him, I mean, another 4 or 5 pounds of fat would probably make a big difference.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can do that in 2 weeks.
Yep.
That would be kind of my thought process, because I don't think at this point, my guess would be, he probably, who knows what he did to Pete, but I would have guessed that he's probably using diuretics like everybody else. So it's not an issue of being dry enough. So if he still looks soft, it's not a water issue. It's a too much body fat issue. And he's plenty full. That's not a problem. So really the only other lever to pull there is losing more body fat, and he just needs more time for that. You're not going to, I mean, let's say he flew out on Sunday and went straight to Texas, and then the show's on Saturday. What do you got? 2 or 3 days where you can burn body fat? What are you going to lose?
Yeah.
In 3 days.
Yeah.
Without blowing out your look, you might make yourself look worse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he obviously thought he could improve on his look from Tampa. So it's hard to take your foot off the gas when you're that close, right?
Well, this is where having a coach comes into play.
Yeah.
Guy's doing it himself. And he probably needs somebody.
Didn't do it quite right. Potentially.
Should have stayed off his legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't think there could have been enough improvement. And like Joe was clearly lean. John was clearly lean enough. Jordan was clearly lean enough. So all those guys had to do was fill back out and get dry. They just had to make sure. Really, the big thing of doing shows that close together that you would have to manipulate is making sure that you don't have a bunch of water retention.
Yeah.
Because there is usually a water rebound after the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's something to say about staying fresh too. Like, I mean, you just competed. It's an exhausting process, getting dehydrated, travel. You only got 7 days till you step on stage again. I mean, it's almost like, where do you have room to even get a pump workout in? It's kind of difficult to really do anything you do on a peak week.
Yeah, no. There's really not much you could have done. I would have said, find a show in 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, and then try to win that one. That would have been my advice. Although he may have had sponsorship requirements, or maybe he thought Jordan wasn't going to show up, or maybe he truly thought he could beat Jordan, or you never know what's in somebody's head. Going into the stuff, he may have thought that he could have taken an extra Diazide. And I mean, every bodybuilder thinks that. Like guys at the end, they're always like, I just need some more gummy bears and more Diazide, and I'm going to beat that guy, beat that other dude. No, bro, you need an off season to get bigger, or no, you need to lose more body fat. Those are, getting bigger, bringing more size is an off-season thing. There's only so much fullness you can push.
Yeah.
And people, and I'm definitely learning this from working with AJ, people don't lose shows because of lack of fullness.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't happen unless you're like one of the big guys. People lose shows because they're not hard. They're either not fat-free, or they're carrying too much water.
Yeah.
Or they can't pose, or their structure sucks. If they don't have enough size, then that's an off-season issue. It's not a contest prep issue.
Yeah, and just in my opinion too, I'm not saying Quentin did this, but I mean, we've learned time and time again, people that try to compensate for their look with using more diuretics, we've come to find out it's pretty obvious. If you're in shape and you're completely fat-free, the less diuretics you need. If anything, you use just a little bit to continue that diuresis up until the stage time, so yeah. I've seen friends do that. They just, I got to use a little bit more, it's too light on the diuretics, didn't pull water hard. And when the reality is you just weren't completely fat free yet.
No, you just weren't in shape. Well, I've been to a bazillion bodybuilding shows. We all see that guy backstage that's got the shakes, because he's got a fucking electrolyte imbalance because he pulled all his sodium, pulled all his water, and took too much Diazide, and he's backstage quivering like, like he's about to die. I remember there was was it last year? There was a show I was at, and there was a guy backstage looked like he's about 10% body fat, and he was shaking. And he's like, my coach told me not to drink any water. Do you think it's okay to drink water? And I'm like, bro, you're gonna get 5th place. Just go have some fucking water. I like that ship has already set sail, man. It's not worth dying. Just drink a fucking Gate. I yanked a Gatorade out of my bag and told him to drink it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to talk to the paramedic and get an IV. You're not drinking water is not going to make a difference in your placing right now. You're just not ready for your show. I'm not trying to be fucking mean, but that's just the truth. Lucas says, or wait a minute, that's not Lucas. This was, I can't pronounce this. Tuful Shunde. So the other guy was better. Yeah, I mean, that's always a possibility, but I don't think that's the case with Quentin. Quentin's got the best genetics out of everybody up there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if all things were equal, Quentin would win.
Yeah.
Best shape, biggest dude. I mean, that's so really, posing could be a little better, I think. And then he just could be in better shape. I don't know. I mean, it's terrible to say, but I mean, he's just not lean enough. And the crazy thing is his structure is so great that being 4 weeks out is good enough to get 2nd and 3rd place. His genetics are that good. He doesn't have to be super crisp. So even if he was a little better, anyway, sorry for the rant, but that's kind of my thought process there.
Well, we saw that with Andrew when he qualified. Everyone was saying, he was not completely in shape, but his shape and structure carried him through for the win.
Yeah, and he sucks at posing too.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he clearly just gets by on his genetics alone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one other thing I was going to quickly say too is just with Quentin, like there's a few poses on his front shots that I think he could hit a little better. Like his front, his front lat, he emphasizes the round width of his shoulders and peaks up his shoulders quite a bit. Where if he could just peel back his chest and get it to ripple and show a little bit more, I mean, I think it would look a little better. Some of his front shots, I think he just isn't getting the idea of what you should be trying to show.
Well, you know what that also is? That tells me dude's probably doing his own posing too. He's probably not working with a posing coach.
Yeah.
He's coaching himself.
Yeah.
And I don't mean this to be mean. I can't fucking coach myself. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
There's really only been 1 or 2 people in the entire history of bodybuilding that have been able to do everything themselves. And I mean, John Jewett, but even John has a posing coach. John works with somebody, and he has people in his corner that are talking to him. I'm sure Luke is his second set of eyes.
He's got a team of coaches around him. So
yeah, and I'm sure his wife is there too. I mean, but John's pretty sane and objective and then smart. But even still, I don't know how people do it. Dorian Yates is really the only person that's ever been able to do it effectively. And the God's honest truth, if you go back and look at Dorian's on stage, he could have posed better. Compared to now, like the guys now are way better at posing.
Yeah.
His posing could have been better, but he's like an anomaly, really. I mean, just in every possible way, he's an anomaly. There's only been one of that dude. That's why I admire him and why he's my favorite bodybuilder of all time, because he was very cerebral and was able to do it all himself and was able to think through and problem solve and do some things that nobody else was able to do. I think that's his unique quality. It's not his training. It's not his intensity or anything like that. The part I admire about him is his thought process and his ability to push himself and be objective.
Very true. Being level-headed.
Lucas said Quentin does have a posing coach. Well, doesn't mean he's listening.
Yeah. Well, you're right about that. That's why, I mean, I'm confident peaking anybody that comes my way, but there's nobody I overanalyze more than myself. And that's why that's why I work with Paul, when I'm getting ready for a show myself, because you'll overthink yourself into circles.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, I mean, like every other sport, you have a coach. Every other sport, tennis player has a coach. football player has a coach. Tom Brady had people mentoring and coaching him.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has somebody. I mean, even in business, like you have a board of directors, you have mentorship, you pay for mentorship, you learn. You have people that provide an objective viewpoint. It's just, I just don't know how you do it without. That's how you get better. You learn from people that you get an objective viewpoint. You seek out people that are better at things than you are and learn from them. That's how you improve. I've been trying to do the same thing with my coaching this year. I've been getting mentorship on my coaching from people and trying to improve how I coach from other people that do it better than I do. And they can give me a second set of eyes. Even sometimes I'll second guess my coaching.
Mhm.
So, it's all part of the process of improvement.
Very true.
Anyway, end rant slash. Amy, we want to grab some questions.
Sure. We have several questions for Chase about stock issues. Do we want to answer those?
Where's the Elkhart?
There's a
No,
bunch.
Carnage
Nah.
is not in stock.
Okay.
Can't really talk about that on
Not
YouTube.
exactly.
YouTube's very sensitive.
Yeah. So reach out to
Shoot
Chase
an email.
somewhere else. Yep. To
Yeah.
find out about your
Contact customer
your
service.
stocking questions. Well, let's get this one from Hercules. Can anyone speak towards CLO blends, BPC, TB, GHK, KPV? Haven't seen many people speak on it as opposed to just the regular GLOW blend or BPC and TB.
Well, there you go. That's a Chase question.
I mean, it's adding in the KPV to it. It's going to be a little bit better for inflammation, a little bit better for digestion, a little bit better for healing. I mean, as opposed to just they're just adding in another bit. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of funny because people ask like, well, like the same thing with the GLP-1s. Like, what's better, like semaglutide or tirzepatide or retatrutide or whatever? And it's like, well, on paper, like it's got more to it. It's got more pathways working for it. Like that's why people are kind of going towards those. So yeah, CLO is going to be a little bit better than GLOW, and GLOW is going to be a little bit better than just a blend of BPC and TB. But you're going to pay for it. So
yeah,
so that's the downside is you're getting the blend, you're going to have to pay a little bit more for it.
Chase, do you think there's really a benefit though of running BPC and KPV together? I mean, it seems like you'd almost want to do one or the other to see which one gave you the most benefit. I mean, I guess depending on what you're trying to address, but
yeah, I mean, I would say you do, but it's probably pretty marginal.
Yeah. Well, the BPC will give you a little bit more anti-inflammatory than the KPV.
How much anti-inflammatory do we need?
Sure.
How many different things can we take for anti-inflammatory?
Yeah.
I'm pretty inflamed, Chase.
So inflamed. That's why I'm fat. I'm just inflamed.
I would say though, quickly with the CLO, in the injectable version of KPV, I don't notice much of a difference for, at all from the difference between GLOW and CLO, but the KPV on an oral form with BPC orally has done wonders for my stomach and my gut lining, and just kind of the overall well-being feeling of my stomach and bloat and everything. So I think if you're looking for, to pay attention to your gut health, the KPV orally is going to be a little bit better than injectable. And I've seen that with other people as well.
I agree with that. Yeah.
But for stuff like tightening up your skin, or injury, helping aid in healing an injury between growth hormone and the GLOW can do quite a bit.
Yeah. I also like the idea of like not buying a blend so that you can try everything separately and dose everything separately. Absolutely. If you got the brains to know how to dose things in different amounts, that's usually why people tend to like the blends, is because it's one shot and they don't have to do a whole lot of math to figure stuff out. So, but yeah, I think there's a benefit to getting things separated and pitting things separately, so you can kind of gauge what each one might be doing for you, as opposed to just taking the kitchen sink. So, yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, I would agree. All right. Next one. We actually had a paid question. This was from Slowboat Sailing. Paul, how often and how many micrograms of melatonin 2 melanotan, melatonin.
Yes,
How
can
much
fall.
sanity would you load on?
Have you
Yes,
seen
how
how
many
white I
weeks?
am?
He's asking Paul.
Have you seen how white I am, man?
I'm like half black over here.
Yeah, ask the brown guy that question.
So this year I've just been doing 250 micrograms, which is a quarter of a milligram, daily in the mornings, and I did that for like 3 weeks before going to Dubai, and I didn't get sunburnt, and I was able to hang out in the sun all day and got nice and tan out of it. So yeah, you really don't need a whole lot. I mean, like my old protocol, like a video I made probably 6 or 7 years ago was pretty rough, where I was doing a milligram every night, and within like 10 days you would turn black, but you felt sick the whole time when you were trying to do it. 250 micrograms is just enough. Like, yeah, you really don't need to overdo the melanotan. It works very well.
My experience too, it's something that you can kind of cruise with sometimes. You know, if you do enough, you get nice dark skin, and then you just don't do it for 6 months, and you stay dark.
Yeah. Like I'll go through like 2 bottles of melanotan a year, and I'll maintain a relatively darker pigment, and it'll lighten up, as the months go by or whatever. But 6 months is about how long it'll last, where you don't have to pen any of it, and then you go back to looking relatively normal. So
Yeah.
I'm terrified to use it because I've had melanoma twice.
right, yeah. Yeah, that's why I was laughing asking Paul the question. I was like, what?
I don't know if it's a smart thing for me. I just do the spray
It's like
tan.
asking me hair questions. Like, what are you talking about?
Chase, how's your hair so beautiful?
What do you do for that?
What do you do, man? I want glowing locks like that.
We got another one for you, Chase. This one is from Scott. Who else are your sponsored athletes?
I've got Chris Massaro. He just turned pro a couple weeks ago. Chris is he's a freak. He looks pretty nuts. And then I've got Bigger Steve, of course, and there's a chick, she's not super well known, Laura BG Fit. She's got a pretty good following, but those are my main 4 that we've got. Yeah, Chris, Scott says Chris has an amazing story. Yeah, Chris is an Army Ranger. He's only got 6 months left, I think, and then he's going to go full-time training people. But
Nice. That's awesome.
yeah, but yeah, he just won his pro card. He's pretty crazy looking. Yeah.
His conditioning's insane.
Well, and then of course we've got Derber there commenting. Don't forget me. He says not an athlete, but he's a baller somehow. What's really funny about him is I said no to him to being one of our guys at first, and he was like, "I'll prove you wrong," and I was like, "All right, man, I'll give you a shot."
Prove me wrong.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right. So from Gamboni Law, I feel like he watches a lot of football. A lot of his questions are about professional athletes. Thoughts on Tampa Bay defensive lineman Desmond Watson, 6'6", now 450, down from 464 in 15 weeks. He's 22. They want him down to 390. If it's your full-time job, is 50 to 60 pounds realistic in 15 weeks? 22.
I saw no, I wouldn't say it's real. Not without sacrificing some muscle. I saw this poor kid. He's seriously got some problems. I don't know if there's some sort of eating disorder going on there, but it's pretty sad. Yeah, I mean, it's been all over the sports news. Like, I feel like people are being too hard on him. It's clearly there's some eating disorder or something going on there, man. I'll pull a picture up of him.
Did he like gain a bunch of weight over off season?
Yeah, he was big last year, but I think he put on like 60, 70 pounds.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, in his off season.
So I mean,
that's a lot, especially when you're already 390. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, man. They had him like off to the side. Like he couldn't even like do the team exercises. He was like walking around the
Oh gosh. See, this is why you don't drop your coach in the off season.
Oh,
Yeah, hang on, I'll pull him up. I feel bad beating up on the kid. He needs somebody to help him. He needs some Retta, Chase.
Yeah.
Right. Oh
Oh.
man,
6'6".
Yeah.
for Tampa. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking 4 pounds a week. I mean, you might get that in the first half of the cutting down because he's a bigger dude, but
Mhm.
that's a tall task.
we tend to think of these things in the context of bodybuilding all the time because that's who we are. But the reality is that if you've got someone who's severely obese like this, when you get them to be as disciplined as we are with our bodybuilding, that you can get them to be as disciplined with their diet and exercise, they will lose weight at an exponentially faster rate than someone who is lean can.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
percentage wise, have more to lose.
and a lot of that's water too, initially, because
Mhm.
there's a lot of inflammation and shit. But I mean, you can do the math on that. If he's gonna, if we were doing 4 pounds a week, that is a 2,000 calorie a day net negative energy balance. If it's all fat, that's pretty brutal.
But like you said, add 30 pounds of water and inflammation to that, and you got your weight right there.
Yeah, that's very true. Big
Yeah,
boy.
It's rough.
We can do it, Desmond, if you're listening.
If you need help, Desmond, reach out. I'll do it for free.
Yep.
All they need
Even
to do is just stand in the A gap and take up space.
See, we got every base covered.
Somebody was talking about Luka Doncic, his change.
Here we go. It's this
He
one.
lost a bunch of weight. I mean, he does. I mean, I played basketball. How the fuck do you get fat playing basketball? Seriously, I don't know how that happens. I mean, yeah, he's kind of got GLP-1 face, maybe. I don't know, or maybe he just
pretty fat.
Yeah, I mean, God damn it. I hate it when they do this, but yeah, you can see. I mean, and still, he was one of the best players in the NBA. I just don't understand. I mean, I play basketball. I'm like, how the hell do you get fat playing basketball? Like you'd seriously have to try.
Well, Paul, you've worked with some pro football players, and I got a couple college football players and a pro hockey player I do nutrition for. And one thing I do notice, though, is some of these guys that, like, this hockey player I deal with, does so much ice time and burning so many calories all the time. They become miraculously adaptive to being like, eating low calories, burning a ton of calories, and then their body just sometimes almost burns through muscle before the fat. It seems like, I've had to get people just kind of eating a healthier, more wholesome diet to start getting results. But they're very adaptive, look at it like a cycler, the amount of calories they eat and burn, they just become so adapted to it too.
Well, I think what it is, a lot of it is these dudes are probably not, this is evidence that macros do matter. I'm sure probably what's going on is bros drinking brews, going out partying with his dudes, probably eating a high carb, high fat diet, and very little protein. This is what we looked like last season. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, how does that happen? I don't know. That perplexes me. Like literally, your job is to be in shape. I just don't. That's crazy to me.
That's Body by Guinness right there.
Yeah, I mean, these Eastern European guys, they love to drink.
Tell you what, when I quit drinking, the weight just fell right off too. It does make a difference. The alcohol, the sugar, the insulin resistance.
Well, I mean, a lot of that dude's inflammation.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yep.
You're probably inflamed as fuck.
Yep.
From all that alcohol.
Puffy. Yeah.
a lot of water retention. Your organs are all swollen. Liver's probably swollen up. Probably some fatty liver disease going on. That goes away. Yeah, I mean that's you're right, Mike. That's Body by Guinness would be my guess. Anyway, he looks great now. He's in shape this season.
Probably feels a lot better.
Shit, I don't get paid, and I fucking do diets. I just do it for a plastic trophy, as people love to remind me.
Mhm.
Hope that plastic trophy was worth it, bro.
Or a ribbon with a piece of metal hanging from it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I got my plastic
Yes.
trophy on a shelf, man.
Um,
Anyway, what's up next? I don't sound
Up
salty at all.
next, Victor Laura, HGH year round. Yes.
Is that a question or a statement?
There's a question mark, so it's a question. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No reason to cycle on and off. Just get on and stay on.
Yep. Find the dose that works for you that you can stay therapeutically on, and just year round.
Yeah. There's kind of a question that ties into this one from Ray. If my IGF-1 stays naturally above 300 at age 50, is HGH supplementation worth it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Was it last week that we
Everybody
talked
get-
about the fallacy of the IGF levels being correlated with HGH
Yeah,
levels?
that's
With
first thing I
muscle-
thought of. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's more to HGH too than just the IGF-1 levels. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
that's what the primary mover of muscle growth, but there's also the lipotic effect. I mean, how it affects nutrient partitioning and yada yada yada. We can the list go, recovery, tendon and health, and
Yeah,
connective
collagen
tissue, collagen synthesis. I mean, there's more than just IGF-1.
So
I
definitely
see
worth
Chase
it.
nodding his head, and he's having.
I mean,
see the-
the whole IGF-1 number, I don't even care about it anymore. It just doesn't mean anything to me.
I see the Sarastin bottles dancing across his forehead.
I've seen me make great gains with IGF numbers, in the 4 to 500s. I've seen great gains with IGF numbers in the 100 to 200s. Like, it just never made a
Yeah.
difference. It's just, at the end of the
Nope.
day, just look at your progress. I mean, it gets me into the whole like HGH, generic and pharmaceutical argument all over again. It's just like, but the numbers say this. Like, well, look at your results. What are your results? Are you making progress? Are you gaining on that, or are you just like jerking off to the numbers? Like that's all it is. That's all it is. That's all it is. Like,
It
oh,
really-
my HGH is a 30. I'm good to go. It's like, but you're not growing. Okay.
It really is that simple, isn't it, Chase? The dudes like you said that are jerking off to the numbers, they never look any better on stage. They never seem to make any progress. Look, I'm not saying it's irrelevant. It is an indicator of something.
Something, but man, I don't think it's
we know. Unless you're getting a muscle biopsy done, you don't know what your localized IGF-1 is, and that's what the primary mover of muscle growth is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It once again, I think dudes get too much into the weeds. They can't see the forest for the trees. Like, everybody gets caught up on all this fucking minutia. They never ever look better ever.
Yeah. Well, it's
Nail
kind of
the
funny.
basics.
It's just like, 20 years ago, they didn't give a fuck about these numbers. They didn't know anything about them. They were just like, is this growth hormone working for me? No, I'm going to switch to another one. Like, they weren't looking at the numbers at all. They had no.
Do you think Dorian Yates ever knew what his IGF-1 levels were?
Right. Yeah.
Nope.
He just started taking. He was like, "This is good shit. I'm going to keep using it."
I got bigger.
That's the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
I got a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny, Jackie and I, we call it actually a dick measuring contest when people always want to do the test their testosterone levels, right? And not to say that there's not a purpose to do that, but I mean, I've got a natural at 900, 50-plus-year-old guy that grows better than some guys in 2,500 testosterone levels, and it's just, the number is kind of irrelevant. It's like you say, Chase. It's really how are you reacting at that number.
Yeah.
And then
I know-
maybe you could compare that number to other things like when my test gets to a certain level, how does my estrogen become affected, or, other scenarios, my free test and all that. But it's kind of irrelevant. Yeah.
Well, the guys that care about the IGF-1 numbers are the ones that want to be right about the whole Serostin versus generic debate. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And like measuring your penis, it's somewhat subjective based on where you place the end of the measuring tape.
See, Mike, it's just like the weight conversation. It doesn't matter until it does.
Doesn't matter until it does.
Exactly.
Well, whoever asked that question, if you go back to I think it was the episode where it was just me, Amy, and I think Ryan or whatnot. But Ryan did a good explanation of saying that the IGF-1 level is kind of irrelevant. It's really more if you were to get like a biopsy of the muscle to see how much IGF is in the muscle cell itself. That's kind of indicative.
Yeah, localized IGF-1, and then there, like we said, there's all the other secondary effects, like how it affects nutrient partitioning, lipolysis, collagen synthesis. I mean, joint and connective tissue health.
Sleep
I
quality.
mean, there's just so many secondary effects as well too. It just Anyway,
If you want to be happy, horny, and healthy, use HGH.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed.
Megan's asking, what's the starting dose for women? I would say 1 to 2
yep.
per day.
I'd agree.
Yeah. We ready to move on from the HGH conversation?
Yes, I ranted
Yes.
a little bit. Chase
I love it.
smirking.
This one is a great one from
So dumb.
Tar Heel Prime.
Larry,
3 weeks out from Masters World and joints are dry. Knee is in a lot of pain. What's the minimum volume necessary to hold size the last few weeks? I'm in a lot of pain with almost all movements.
that sounds like a Winstrol problem, Larry.
Larry gets so ripped. Oh my goodness, does he?
Yeah,
get
Larry gets
ripped.
ripped. I really pulled my training back last year. I would say usually what I do is keep the volume in place, but pull back the intensity. I honestly, I'll just start posing more. Because I feel like, look, you can always be better at posing. You're getting a really good contraction when you're posing. You're no winning right now. Wow, you must just be that lean, or maybe your estrogen smashed. That could be what's going on too.
I was going to say E2 is probably crashed.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Yeah, I was the same way last year, dude. I felt like my fucking training was terrible the last whole month before. I was also, unbeknownst to me, had a torn bicep tendon on top of it. But yeah, I would say I would keep volume in place, maybe pull back the weights, increase the rep range a little bit. Don't be too concerned about hammering the heavy weights. I just haven't seen guys. I know there's that old school mentality that you need to keep hammering the heavy weights up until the show. And look, I get it, but we're old, man. We're old. I would say it's better not to beat yourself up. I would do more posing. I would do a little more volume, up the rep range, keep the volume in place. Just really try to get a good pump, good squeeze, be intentful with everything. If you can try to get some rest, to try to get more rest, that will help as well. Maybe with the cardio, you might be going too hard with the cardio too. That's another possibility. I usually when I get guys, once they're lean, I'll pull the cardio back down to like 30 minutes and just have them walk. Once they're at like stage lean, there's no reason to keep like pounding the stair climber. If you're already stage lean, I heard I think it was Jay Cutler said that Hani had him completely yank cardio like the last month for one of the Olympias he went. Maybe it was Hani, or maybe it was Chris. I don't remember. But if you're lean, you're lean. I mean, just all you need to do is maintain.
Yeah, and maybe if you are accumulating a little bit of inflammation around these joints, I mean, this would be just a Band-Aid, but and I use it as Voltaren to kind of eliminate some of the inflammation on my joints. And usually before my leg days, again, it's just a Band-Aid. It's not a good fix, but the lidocaine with icy hot cream, it just gets me through my training. I lube up my knees or elbows, and it just definitely helps. So might give you a little bit of relief.
Yeah. All right. That was good. Let's get this one from Ryan Parsons. Has Gilbert's syndrome. No matter what I do, my bilirubin levels stay the same. They never increase. Well, this isn't really a question. And with Gilbert's syndrome, your bilirubin levels are always going to stay the same because they're going to be out of whack all the time. But ALT, AST have improved, and so have my HDL and LDL levels. That's awesome. So congratulations.
Yep.
I mean, bilirubin isn't really going to change if you have Gilbert's. It's going to stay pretty much always elevated.
Yeah, I believe that's a genetic thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a client that has it, and his liver. I mean, from what I understand, your life expectancy is pretty much the same. It doesn't really. I mean, you something to be mindful of. I'm not saying go out and be crazy with shit, but you definitely probably shouldn't be slamming Anadrol. But
Yeah. Well, if your other levels are improving, though, that's awesome. So wondering when Joshua was going to pop up. Yes.
It's a Billy Reuben sandwich. Very clever, Josh. Oh man.
The best kind, full of dead platelets.
Ryan didn't say what he did to get those numbers down.
He said he saw a lot of the improvements while he was on Retta. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
That is pretty fucking amazing.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
I was telling my doctor I was on it, and the doctor was like, "Well, it's not FDA approved, but everything's improving." So I'm going to turn a blind eye. Just keep doing what you're doing. I don't know where you're getting it from, but keep getting it.
So did you switch from your Mounjaro to Retta recently?
That was before, but I switched back to Retta
Recently?
Yeah.
I think that's going to do you better for sure.
I got a refrigerator full of Mounjaro now.
Oh, you can sell that PTA meetings for top dollar.
I'll save it for later. I'm sure I'll use it at some point.
Yeah.
He's
only
like
2.5
a retailer.
It's only 2.5 milligrams. It's not enough really for anybody trying to get super skinny. It's a diabetic dose.
Yeah. All right. From Jacoby Dials, I know everyone is different, but how long do you guys like to run a mesocycle before deloading? If only training hard to failure, I recently went 20 weeks trying to push it and my body fell apart.
What's a deload?
I don't count anything. I get a break when life happens.
Yeah, the deloads kind of build themselves in sometimes.
Yeah,
You know what?
Keep going.
You know when I took my last deload?
Surgery.
When I got shoulder surgery.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh my God,
Sometimes
I made
that's
it.
what it takes.
This brings it up. I made a post the other day about. It's funny. I had a Broderick Chavez on this week for an interview, and Broderick Chavez was talking about people worrying about, training intensity and volume and recovery, and he was like, "Dude, we survived the fucking ice age. Evolutionary biology. If we were that fragile, we wouldn't have lasted. Literally survived the ice age." People got so fucking mad at me over. I put a post up about it. I made a video reading the comments today. It's going to be funny, but there was so many angry butthurt bros in there talking about rest and recovery. And look, I'm not saying I manage out on contest prep. It's a real fucking thing. When you're in a caloric deficit and you're down to single digit body fat towards the end, you really do have to be careful with pushing yourself too far. But if you're in a caloric surplus, you're in an off season, you really have to fucking try hard to fuck yourself up so bad. And I think a lot of times dudes confuse overtraining with just shitty training. Yep. They're beating their joints and connective tissue up. It's not, it doesn't really have anything to do with actually being overtrained. When you're overtrained to the point that your central nervous system doesn't work anymore, you'll fucking know.
Yeah.
You'll definitely know. Your joints and connective tissue are beat up. What I would say is evaluate your exercise choices and your form and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Now, I do on contest prep, I program in. When I did my last contest prep, I took a deload every 5th week. So I had 3 throughout my contest prep. Whether or not I needed them, I don't fucking know. Essentially on, peak week is going to be a deload on contest prep. But, Mike knows from working with me, we just kind of listen to our body. But I would say just, listen to your body. If you've truly fried yourself to the point where your central nervous system is shot, you'll know it. I had it happen to me one time on contest prep, and I remember putting 2 plates on the leg press to warm up, and I literally could not move 2 plates on the leg press. My central nervous system was just completely shut down. Now, you don't want to drive yourself to that point. That's really fucking stupid. But I would say most people are guilty of not doing enough rather than doing too much. But if your joints and connective tissue are all fucking beat up, take a week off from the gym. It's not going to kill you. Just take a fucking week off from the gym. That's what I'll do. Like when I go on vacation, like I'm not worried about, I might go away a week twice a year. I'll just not worry about training and not worry about my diet. I just eat what the fuck ever. I don't train, or maybe if I do train, I train light and just do a pump workout just for my mental health, but I don't obsess about it. And then I get back to work when I get back. 1 week's not going to hurt you. But I would say what I have found, talking about mesocycles, just cycles in general, whether or not it's the PEDs, the food, the training, I found that somewhere around 16 to 20 weeks is when the wheels start to fall off and you need a break.
Yeah.
That's when I'll pull back the gear, pull back the food, pull back the training a little bit, maybe lower the training intensity a bit. Anyway, but that's my take.
Yeah.
I'm about to start a 3-week deload, so
in Italy.
See, life builds in deloads. It really does.
it does, yeah.
Mhm. Thank
Yeah,
you,
but-
Ryan. To give us a super chat.
To Paul's
Thanks, man.
point, though, there's a couple times in these last 2 contest preps where it's just like my body let me know very clearly that it needed a week of lightweight, And if you're in tune like that, great. Not everybody is, and you need to have them written into your plan by your coach. But
Yeah, I mean, I do find that when I have guys on contest prep, I have to pull people back frequently.
Yep.
There are some guys that just won't push hard enough. I do have the guys that are, 16% body fat and still have 12 weeks to go on their prep, and they think they need a refeed. I run into those occasionally, but most of the guys that are driven to do well, I usually have to tell them, look, man, we need to. I can see in the look. I mean, you can just see when the body starts to look haggard. You start to flatten out. Things start to look worse. I just had my one guy who was pounding his cardio last week, and he looked worse this week. And I'm like, oh, Josh, you're full of the jokes today. But I find contest prep towards the end of contest prep, the last 6 weeks or so is when you have to be really mindful of it. In the off season, it's more about just beating your joints up from lifting heavy, and that's more stupid lifting than it is actual needing a deload.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say, believe it or not, Jackie and I are kind of big fans of deloads, but people with our clients, like Jacob asked, he said right off the bat, everyone's different, and that's completely true. So when we try to cut somebody down in a fat loss phase, we're usually trying to gauge what's their cycle of deload, and some people might be different. Some might be every 6 week they need a deload. Some might be every 10, 8 or 9. But it's also a good way for us to also kind of manage the diet fatigue too. We kind of back off the training a bit, keep the foods somewhat consistent,
Mhm.
they kind of get a little fresher. Then that way you don't have to have a big 4 to 6 week diet break. You can maybe squeak out a little bit more time on a cut. But like you said, Paul, like you kind of just know when you need a deload. We always tell our clients as a kind of a joke, it's kind of like going to the bathroom. Like when you have to run to the bathroom, no one's going to tell you when. You just know I got to go. And it's the same thing with the deload. Sometimes it snaps in your head. It's like, I just need a break, and your body will tell you. But
Yeah,
you
I
need
think-
to be in tune as well, because some people could just rationalize, that they don't need it or they think it's a weakness. It's beneficial when needed.
I think it was Broderick I heard say that a deload's like toilet paper, when you need it.
There you go. Yeah.
That one made me laugh. I'm probably not the best one to ask because I tend to drive myself until I need surgeries. So
Sure.
I don't know. Although I feel like my entire last 4 months have been a deload.
But if you can find how to use it as a tool for yourself or that client, it can be very beneficial.
I did make my best progress when I was programming it in regularly, and looking back on it, like when I worked with Dante Trudel, doing the DC training, which you would go really hard with the DC training with intensity. But Dante, it was 4 weeks hard, 1 week of a deload. 4 weeks hard, it was every 5th week was a deload.
Mhm.
That was how Dante did the training blocks and shit. That was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyway, next question.
This one isn't a question. I just want to give a shout out to David. He said, I'm going to do my first show in 10 years in Detroit next year. 48 still have the itch to give it one more shot. That's
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Get out there, man. I gave it one more
Great.
shot 7 years ago.
And look at where you are now. A
Just
pro.
go out and David, just go out and have fun. That's the main thing.
Yes.
I can tell you. Just
Detroit's-
enjoy it.
Great show. Detroit's a good show. All right. This one, it's a good question. We need to know so much more. I'm going to ask it, but just there's so many things we don't know, and there's not really a place to even ask all these things. Why do my arms go slightly numb, tingle randomly when standing or sitting? It's random. Your body fat and your calcium score probably aren't part of this started blood pressure medication. I mean, there's so many other things. It could be thoracic outlet syndrome. It could be from HGH. It could be from so many things. Do you guys have anything off the top of your head that would be the one thing you'd go toward?
Yeah,
I think if he was taking HGH, you probably would have said it. But
Yeah.
that's
probably some sort of
that's
nerve
something that I think about. But yeah,
And nerve damage.
nerve
Yeah, like
impingement.
thoracic outlet, posture.
Yeah.
So,
That was
so
the
many
first
things.
thing I was going to say. If you have something going on with your spine, good chiropractor helps.
Mhm.
Yeah, or your neck or your shoulder. You could have epicondylitis. I mean, it could be so many issues there.
I would go.
HGH.
That would concern me that you have some sort of spine issue, something going on. I would go probably see an orthopedic, get an MRI, or at least get a nerve test done to make sure you don't have something going on. You don't have I used to get some numbness in my fingers, and then I found out I have stenosis in my neck.
Hmm.
So I can't. That's one of the big reasons why I don't squat anymore, because I don't want a fucking bar laying across my neck with stenosis in my neck.
Yeah.
Probably not smart. So I would go. I mean, it's likely hand numbness is usually the brachial plexus, from what I understand. So it just depends. Thumb, index finger, middle finger. Depends on where the numbness is, but it could also be an elbow issue. I mean, sometimes,
Yep.
could be there. The median nerve could be another potential problem. So I would say, if it was hand weakness, like if your hand's turning blue, then it's a circulation issue, but it's likely a nerve. Most guys have something going on further up. It's probably the brachial plexus. There's probably something going on in your neck. Would be my. I like when I first realized that I had something going on. Is I remember doing shrugs, and I would get really bad fucking stingers, like that would shoot down my arm, and my fingers would go numb from it. And then I found out that it was from the stenosis and damage to the disc in my neck, and I was having brachial plexus issues. So, yeah, and like Amy said, thoracic outlet. So yeah, I would probably go see an orthopedic and get some testing done and find out for sure.
Or at least a good chiropractor who could take a look, do some x-rays, somebody.
I'm kind of skeptical of chiropractors. I'm
Yeah.
terrible, but I would want, before I had somebody adjusting my neck, I would want to make sure that there's not something bad going on there. Although good chiropractors are going to do an x-ray and find out.
Mhm.
Usually, but a lot of this you're not going to know until you get an MRI done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a really good.
Yeah.
I have a
Well, then
really good orthopedic SC, but
Yeah, a lot of that nerve end, like you say, in the arms and hands come from the cervical part, that neck. So, I mean, could just be maybe a posture at sleep too, or there's a million different things. I think you've got to do a little deeper diving into it.
I'm with Drew, man. Drew said I wouldn't let any chiropractor go near my neck. I'm kind of with you on that one. Not unless they're highly skilled. There are some good chiropractors, but yeah, I don't need anybody tweaking my neck with stenosis going on.
No, I always say I don't want any like cervical adjustment. I'll do all the other adjustments, but I don't want my neck adjusted.
I've
I
never
always
seen
have that fear of that.
I've never seen a chiropractor for my neck, but I know that They keep me walking upright. And the
Yeah, my
chiropractor I see, I think he's
amazing.
like 19 years old or something. He's like, it's like
I mean, I've been talking to
Hauser.
Dr. Marv. Dr. Marv is super sharp. I mean, he's definitely sharp. I mean, there are some sharp chiropractors. I would say, there are definitely, and I don't mean to disparage the whole industry. There's definitely some sharp chiropractors out there. I would just be careful.
yeah, this kid is like 119 pounds. And when he tries to pop my hip back in place, he climbs on top of me with his whole body. Try to move me. Funny.
Oh, we have just two more. This one it's a slight two-parter, but only because I think he ran out of space. So on Retta, even as starting dose, HRH is through the roof. Sorry, RHR, resting heart rate through the roof with plenty of cardio, therapeutic dose of HGH and TRT. Is there any solution to that, or is it just not for me?
I mean, if you're really concerned about it, I would try Nebivolol. If you're really concerned about it, I don't know. I guess how high is high? Are we talking like 70s? We're talking 90s. If it was in the 70s, I wouldn't give a shit. I would let it ride, and it would eventually right itself. But if it's in the 90s, yeah, that would probably bother me. And I'd probably take Nebivolol for it to bring it down if you really want to stay on Retta.
Mm-hmm. But that is common across the board. It's not just him. Most people that introduce in that 3-point GLP-1 is from the glucagon. I understand raising your metabolism is going to raise your resting heart rate. But it does level off over time. I had the same scenario. My first introduction to Retta, it was about I'd say 8 to 10 weeks. It started without any Nebivolol, any beta blocker. It started coming down on its own.
Yeah, it does come down.
Yeah, but you do want to be careful the things that you compound around. Like obviously, if you're on Retta, you might be in a diet phase, right? So then are you using stimulants in the background as well? Are you using clenbuterol? Are you using
Tren?
Yeah, using these other things that are raise your heart rate as well. So you might want to pick your poisons as well, and have a cutoff where you say, I'm just not willing to go and cruise at a certain heart rate for too long.
I mean, just be a bodybuilder. A resting heart rate of 95 is perfectly fine. That's not medical advice, folks.
I don't know.
I am joking.
I think the average is what's the average human resting heart rate like
in the 80s
for Americans? What is it? It probably is like 80 to 90.
Well, I think they want to see you around 65 to 70.
Well, we would definitely want to see that. Yeah, for sure. But I'm just curious, what is the average?
It's my cardiologist told me really a lot of it's genetics, and he said anything under 100 is normal.
Right. I thought that
That's
I heard
crazy.
something like that, which
I mean,
I would be scared of that. Like personally, I
I don't feel good if mine's over like 55. I don't sleep well.
Oh, mine just, I mean, I don't know. Mine camps out around 70.
Yeah, mine's usually around like 60-ish. So
I'm usually like 52.
Yeah.
Like anywhere from like 48, 52.
I'm not on anything right now.
When I'm like really hammering the cardio, like it'll be around 50. But
oh, man, I'm looking at my step count. It's not good.
I had a guy comment on one of my YouTube videos. I did a video on GLP-1s, and he was telling me I was lying, saying that like your resting heart rate can't increase by 25% on GLP-1s. So I just sent him back the actual quote from the Clinicals 2 study that showed him that it does. But he was sitting there arguing the whole time with me. You're full of acid.
It just
doesn't happen. You're lying. You don't know what you're talking about.
Like, well, why don't you go make a video and talk about it, and let's see who watches it.
Well, you can. I don't know if you can see. This is mine over the last year.
71.
71.
That's my average.
Yeah.
And it's actually worse now that I'm not on gear. This is the hilarious part.
It is pretty surprising, like how much a cycle changes it for me. Like when I drop off of a cycle, like my heart rate will drop like 10 beats for sure. But yeah.
Oh, there's
Oh my
Nick.
gosh. It's Nick.
Oh, sorry.
It's Nick.
How's it going?
In the middle of the night, Nick.
Nick with the porn stash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that stud.
It's either that or
Bit
law
after,
enforcement.
bit after 3 a.m.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have been forbidden from having a mustache.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a terrible, terrible look.
Yeah, I can't say Michaela's a fan either. Yeah.
I mean, I went with I love the handlebar, but nobody in my life that matters loves the handlebar.
Oh, that's rough. That's rough. Yeah.
I like
So
that. I
what's
think you
that
look
you've been
you
up
look
to?
good, Nick. You look good.
Huh?
You look good. Don't listen to them. You look great. How you been? You've been
So-
pretty active on YouTube, man. A lot of good
Oh,
content you've been
I'm
pushing out.
trying to be active. Yeah. It's I don't know. You know how it is.
It's a job.
All right, what do we got next for questions?
We just have one. This one is asking if we've ever seen a natural athlete with extremely elevated liver enzymes. He was on antibiotics and it was up in the 500s, but then after stopping, went back to 30.
Yeah, it's the
I mean,
antibiotics.
Yeah, that's what's going to
Yeah.
do it. I wouldn't say it's anything with whether or not you're a natural athlete. That's because you were taking heavy dose antibiotics.
Yeah, it's the
Even if you're
antibiotics.
natural and you have, say, like
Mhm.
a viral infection, I've seen people with glandular fever have readings of like 1,000.
Oh yeah, that'll do it too.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I had one of my clients that was septic and ended up in the hospital, and his ALT and AST were over 1,000.
Whew.
Jeez.
Yikes.
Yeah, and it was from the sepsis.
I had I saw one friend of mine who's a runner but also does a lot of lifting, and his ALT AST was sky high. I forget the numbers, but he ended up getting his blood work back and asked me about it. And then it was the next week he found out he had rhabdo. You know, he was just kind of running himself into the ground, and he's a natural athlete.
I do think I've seen doctors misdiagnose rhabdo before. It seems like it's like they freak out sometimes when they shouldn't.
That's just doctors. We got another one. This one's from Sebastian. Any advice for preventing pregnancy stretch marks? Oh, Sebastian, this is primarily genetics. You will see, being in the field I'm in, and we have women who come in who've literally had like triplets and are 5 foot tall and have 0 stretch marks. And then we have women that are 5'11" and have a 1 premature 5-pound baby and are just destroyed. So picking your parents, having good genes is going to be number one, but number two they're 2 and 3. So number 2 would be making sure that nutrition is optimized, meaning you're having a good intake of collagen-rich foods, lots of antioxidants, staying very well hydrated, and also keeping the skin hydrated. But that includes like your internal as well. You can put on all the moisturizer you want, but if you're not feeding your body the right things to like build those substrates that it needs, it's not going to be as effective. I definitely like things like bone broth, obviously things that are easy to tolerate for the pregnant mom, just things that can be the issue if they're not eating a well-balanced diet because of like nausea or specific cravings, but really trying to keep that nutrient density high. And things like topical hydration really do make a difference, especially for if you start right away, before any of that growth starts. A lot of hydration, internal and external, and just keeping that diet as healthy as possible.
Hell, I've got stomach stretch marks, and I've never had a baby
Yeah.
That you know of.
that I know of. I gave birth to pepperoni pizza at one point.
Yeah, that's the genetic part of it. I mean, and you see stretch marks on, they can happen during growth spurts of any kind.
Like when I grew my belly.
That's very true.
Yeah. Well, or like on legs. I mean, you see them on teenagers or kids who grow tall really fast. We'll get them on their legs or their sides, or like women get them a lot of times on the sides of their breasts during puberty because that growth is just happening so rapidly.
Sebastian was also asking about the collagen powder. I think it's horseshit, if you ask me.
That's what I was just going to add to what Amy had said, is to be careful where you choose your collagen supplementation. Like things like bone broth and stuff are a great source. Or if you just start buying collagen supplements off the shelf, there's been some scandals around that stuff and some of the things they were selling at some of the big
Yeah,
retailers.
it's just protein.
Don't put it in your pregnant wife. Yeah, be careful.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, I wouldn't add in supplementation. I would try and get it from whole food sources whenever possible, like for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, collagen is just another protein. Your digestive tract breaks it down into amino acids. Now they're the precursors, what is it, glycine, proline, hydroxyzine are important for collagen synthesis, but at the end of the day, collagen requires cofactors to your body synthesizes its own collagen for so the you need to increase collagen synthesis, do things that increase collagen synthesis. I know, like things like vitamin C and copper and zinc are important for precursors for collagen synthesis, growth hormone, stuff like that. So I like the HGH is going to stimulate fibroblasts that are going to increase collagen synthesis. So I just like,
And it might make a really big baby.
might make a real. I'm not saying your wife should take GH or any of that
No.
stuff. That definitely should not
Big baby.
be into the equation. But like Amy was saying, you getting proper nutrition, having the precursors that are required for collagen synthesis, having adequate protein in your diet, including the amino acids that are necessary for the precursors for collagen synthesis or the substrates for collagen synthesis. But people somehow think that taking a collagen powder is going to directly lead to additional collagen synthesis, and that may not be true.
Right.
Sort of like
And how
people take
bioavailable.
BCAAs thinking that they're going to get jacked when they're already eating sufficient protein.
Right.
Well, I was going to say it's almost the same thing, Nick, about people who eat like high protein bars or powders that are just collagen protein. Like, well, that's not really a usable form of protein. So like, no.
Well,
Get the bar you're
those,
eating.
like, collagen, like Jello texture bars, those ones. Yeah.
I know it's oversimplified, but think of it this way: it's like delivering bricks to a construction site and having no construction workers present. It's not.
Yeah.
Like some of it, a lot of it's just genetic.
Yeah.
Like Amy was saying, a lot of it's just genetic, but I don't know. Anyway, didn't mean to shit on your answer there, Amy. Sorry.
No, you didn't. No.
I'm still just picturing Paul with a pregnant belly rubbing cocoa butter on it.
I have strong feelings about collagen supplements being bullshit. Most of them. I mean, look, it's just more protein. Yeah, Tanya. If Tanya's a scientist, she would know.
I think you're right. That's just the ingredient needed. Like, you're not actually signaling collagen synthesis by having collagen powder,
Present.
correct? Yes.
Like
Correct.
delivering bricks to the construction site. You
Right.
gotta have
Yeah.
the construction
Yeah.
workers to do the work.
Right.
And that's why in nature, you don't find nutrients in isolation. Like it never happens ever. Like
Yeah.
they are always together with other things, and you need those other things. I mean, you look at like something like an avocado, there's fat that's needed to actually synthesize the beneficial vitamins and the fiber in that item. There even something like an orange. Yes, there's a lot of vitamin C, but there's also other polyphenols. Grapes, any of these like things, even beef, red meat has ALAs, has other things. Like it's not just one nutrient in isolation in nature ever. And you need it. You need these things together to get the benefit in most cases. Like nutrition is all about cofactors. Like you have to have things helping each other to actually do the job. Just like Paul, like you need the whole construction crew there, not just the supplies.
Yep.
And if you have all the construction crew there and no supplies, well, you still don't get a house. So
Well, it's the same thing like with
yes,
just eating a
And
bunch
you're
of protein and thinking you're gonna grow muscle. It doesn't always work that way.
no, you'll not. It's the rabbit famine right there. You need all the protein you want. If you have no other nutrients, you're going to be malnourished. Yeah.
Okay. Want to get one more in and then I gotta roll.
Yes, one more. This one's from Ollie. This is our last question. When running GH on a cut, 6 IU, had no issues with sides. However, after starting the bulk, my hands keep feeling hot and numb, especially at night and waking up. Anything that can be done other than reducing the dose?
Reduce the food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's food.
Maybe the
Yeah.
There are a couple things I see happen post show or post diet that it's the increased water retention that's doing it.
Yep.
And there are many things that can drive that. It could be just simply you're eating shitty food and higher sodium intake that's causing you to retain more water. You could be having an estrogen rebound that's going to be causing you to be more water retentive. I mean, there's too many carbs can do it. I mean, there's a bazillion factors there, but it's all the tingling is all driven by water retention for the most part, and that's why guys, you never hear you never hear guys complain about numb hands on contest prep.
That's why like anytime I've done any of these ridiculous, like stupid experiments, I've always done it when I'm dieting to prevent so many side effects that could be happening, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, have you ever heard of anybody complain about numb hands from
On prep?
GH when contest prep?
No.
I've noticed two things. When people get this in like an off-season setting, typically they're maybe not intentionally, but like unintentionally hoarding a lot of food before bed. And if they're taking the GH before bed, blood sugar is going to obviously skyrocket if you're having a shitload of carbs right before bed. So just trying to like taper your food intake before bed if you refuse to lower the dose and refuse to lower the food intake, just change how you're eating it. So eat more of it during the day when you're active, around training, that sort of thing. And then taper your carbs before bed. Another thing too is just look at your overall sodium intake, because if you've gone from, say, a deficit to a surplus, you're eating a surplus of carbs, but you're probably also using things like bagels and stuff like that, and your sodium might be getting jacked up through the roof. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
I find that sodium. Go ahead,
Paul.
Mike.
I was gonna say, when I had the problems that I had last year transitioning from the cut to the bulk, my rebound phase, but on your advice and some advice from Kurt Havens, I just added a little more electrolytes to the protocol.
Potassium and magnesium, lower the sodium. Taurine.
Yeah, I would do the light salt, do a half a teaspoon of that in my pre-workout in the morning, add a couple of magnesium glycinate to that pre-workout vitamin stack, and then it helped a lot.
Taurine,
I mean, most
taurine
people
does wonders, like Paul said. Taurine's awesome.
Yeah, taurine's awesome. I think Nick pointed it out. Yeah, there we go. Yep, taurine.
Yeah, I love taurine. Etienne thinks you're looking really good, Nick. 20 years younger.
20 years younger. That puts
You
him at
look
like 10. What is he, like 5?
You are looking very healthy, Nick.
You are. You look
Appreciate
really
it.
good.
You know, I don't see the problem too. Like everyone says, I don't want to lower the dose, but there's nothing wrong with cutting that in half and then slowly titrating it back up until, you know, you find truly a sweet spot. And sometimes the side effects kind of alleviate themselves by reintroducing it that way.
I was talking to my endocrinologist about it, and it actually makes sense. I mean, she's kind of open-minded about stuff, but she said that even every other day dosing with the HGH, because the IGF-1 portion of it, I mean, IGF-1 is going to be elevated for up to 72 hours after you taking your HGH, if that's the primary thing. Yeah, Nick mentioned it. Yeah, every other day dosing. There you go. We're on the same page. But yeah, that's also another potential in the therapeutic setting. That's what they will do when people are having issues with water retention, is they'll go to every other day dosing.
Yeah, that's what the Serostim pamphlet says. It says
How
start.
does it? I should read it.
Yeah, it tells them to start with daily dosing. If you get side effects that you just can't handle, back off to every other day dosing. And it showed like the research in the pamphlet too, and it showed the people that did every other day dosing, they got a little less muscle gains, but it wasn't much of a difference. So they still made great.
If he's on a bulk, I mean, you got to let that food do some of the work too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the every other day probably wouldn't be much of a problem.
Yeah,
Or just smash a shitload of Aldactone. No.
We are joking.
Yeah, we're joking. Don't do that. Don't do that.
We are joking. All right, folks. That's all I got for you today. I have to venture to Costco. My dogs are barking. They need dog food. They're telling me, go to Costco, feed us. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you folks next week. Appreciate each and every one of you. We love all of you. Bye.